Alright guys, so what's a microgroup? As you might have guessed, the name pretty much sums it up. Microgroups are groups of 2 or 3 that meet weekly in homes or a cafe or anywhere that people can gather to open up the scriptures. There's a set reading that the groups choose. Typically, if it's a new group, I like to recommend going with a smaller letter like maybe James or 1 John. And maybe go through a chapter or two a week, and then as you come together, begin to discuss what the text is speaking to you. How do you see God making that text alive? And the desire and the hope of these groups is that every believer, both mature and both new, would learn how to hear from God. This differs from a Bible study in that the idea is not necessarily to just extract truth from the Scripture and to know, but rather to learn how to discern the voice of God. What is God saying to me in this text? How does this become practical reality in my everyday life? How does my faith and life intersect? And we believe that by gathering together and by centering on the person of Jesus, by prayer and by reading, that is in this way that God speaks. Maybe a lot like 1 Corinthians 14, where 2 or 3 are speaking, and then what's being said is not just accepted, but it's tested among the other brothers and sisters who are gathered. In this way, we feel like we can really position ourselves to grow. And as Romans 8 talks about, God has a desire to transform all of us into the image of Christ. Microgroups is one way that we do that. Here we position ourselves to learn how to hear from God. Microgroups are the lifeblood of who we are as a community. Personally, in my life, I've developed so much by learning how to speak truth. And maybe that's words of affirmation or positive words to someone, or sometimes maybe it's a rebuke or a correction. And in the same breath, I've learned how to receive and how to take and how to be on the end where that correction or that rebuke or that teaching moment comes. And I feel this is important for us as a community as we learn what real humility is, that I can receive from you, you can receive from me. But this is what microgroups are about. Feel free to navigate to our webpage, maybe if you need it spelled out a little bit clearer, and feel free to contact or email us if you're interested in being a part of a microgroup.